Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Monday. Well, we're packing up on Sunday night. There's a bunch of stuff. This was like a crazy weekend. This is like what weekends were, like almost every weekend in 2023. That was like our best year for full-time eBay. So this felt pretty good. All right, a lot of stuff to pack up and go through. So we're just gonna jump right into it. The first thing is this Dystopian Legends. This is gonna be like a quick rule book. We actually sold the bigger rule book for the Dystopian miniature game. I think it's like bigger naval ships. I don't think I've ever gotten like the miniatures, but I always gotta get these little books and the campaign booklets. $14.99 plus shipping. Everything's gonna be plus shipping. All right, next up is Incomplete Lock and Loaded strategy game right here. I got a lot of this stuff. Our cat's being goofy over there. But yeah, I got a lot of these like different bits and pieces for Lock and Loaded. I've never played it or anything. It's gonna be one of these military games with these like little chit tokens. These are bigger than like the advanced squad leader size. There's some maps here. There's also like a little campaign rulebook. This is not fully complete. I forgot, like I think it's missing cards or something. People will still use most of the stuff. If they have replaceable stuff for the other things, they'll just like, you know, use that. All right, $31.99 for that. Also, my brain's melting a little. It's pretty late. It's been a crazy weekend. All right, next up is going to be which I forgot I had them. It's actually the living card game for Lord of the Rings. Not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. My brain really is mush. Where is it? This is going to be I thought I had everything. Oh, it's right in front of me. Sorry, guys. I'm really trying. All right, Guardian the Realm right here. This is going to be a character pack or chapter pack. So Fantasy Flight Games will do different living card games. They coined this term LCG right here, where you get a base set, and then like every 2 months, 3 months, maybe every half of a year or something, they would make new expansion packs to upgrade your game. I don't think this one's around anymore. This, I believe, was a 4-player competitive game. It was a game I was going to want to play with my brother at some point, but I think this game, because there's a lot of different ways to win. There's like, you know, power, political power, there's money, there's other resources. In this game, it's better to play with 4 people than 2 people. But I forgot I had a bunch of these. So yeah, this one only sold for $8.10. I have another one, so I relisted it. All right. But yeah, people like to go into these old games, especially when they're cheap. They'll like buy them and play them, and then they'll look up the expansions. Those games are good because they're not collectible, so you don't have to worry about buying booster packs and gain like the rares and stuff. When you buy that pack, you get like the 60 cards to your collection. All right, moving along, we have some Victory at Midway board game map and tokens. That's it. It's not going to be anything else. Oh yeah, so right here is the map, and then we have the little 2 token sheets right here. These are things that come into these like war game magazines. People like to get them to play them. Sometimes there'll be updates to games or expansions or little mini DLCs. This ended up going for $14. Well, it's not like a computer game, but think of like, you know, sometimes when there's like a little update to like a computer game, sometimes they would have these things, little pieces. If they had different like stats errata, they would like print the new ones, and people pick them up for that reason. And they collect all the magazines, all the games. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 6. This is going to be Warhammer 40K. These are going to be some kind of guns. No, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, some kind of like Space Marine gun bits and pieces. People like to kit bash, so they like to like add them onto their other figures. Sometimes they're looking for specific guns. Maybe they're just doing creative project they're putting on the bases. Maybe they're just adding stuff. Maybe they just want to practice painting. I can't find it right now, so I'm just going to almost move along. Yeah, I'll move along and I'll show you guys. Well, it's in a little baggie. So, all right, moving along, we have Cabela's Tackle Shop 2003. This is going to be like a catalog. We got a bunch of catalogs for like girls fashion, which sold a lot better. We also got some like shop ones from different, you know, like retail shops. We also got a bunch of these, they were like gun, sport hunting. And then we also got these like fishing ones. They haven't been selling as well, or at least at first. And now they started selling a little bit. So yeah, let me go ahead and find that one. Like I said, the stuff is just all over the place. I'm a mess right now. All right, this one right here, Tackle Shop 2003. Yeah, we're organizing everything also like outside of your guys' view. So I'm like stuck in here in an island. This sold for $11. That one, I have a bunch of those, and I think I still have another like box of those to list from someone that like was getting rid of some of their stuff from storage. I happen to be there and then purchase some of the stuff like the magazines, the ephemera. It's a lot of fun stuff to like go through and sell to people because they appreciate it. Next up is going to be a lot of 300 different cardboard pieces for a board game, Sentinel Tactics. Or Sentinels of the Multiverse, not Tactics. That's their miniature game. The Sentinels of the Multiverse is going to be a co-op card game where you're picking a superhero and you go against different villains. I think there's either like different scenarios or campaigns to do. These are going to be a bunch of like the different coins. They have numbers like 1 through 30 or something, and then these are all the like action tokens. I haven't played this game. I watched people play it a long time ago. I think it was like 2014, literally a long time ago. They were having fun. I was kind of surprised he sold. I had them. I'm like, I'm not too sure because I didn't know too much about the game if someone would want more tokens, but I sold them for $19.99. All right, moving along, we have a board game. This was a slightly different one. I haven't played this one. Wolves of, instead of America, it's America right here. I'm not too sure what type of game. It has like kind of some cool like fantasy arts here, and there's like different cards, like tarot size. There's like different tokens and stuff. So let's see what company this is. Rye Belly. Doesn't ring a bell. That's probably why I picked it up, because I just didn't really recognize it. And people like to collect all sorts of board games. $11.52 for that one. So not like a crazy price. All right, next up, this one is super cool. I remember this card game as a kid. I didn't have too much other than like a starter set, but Harry Potter had a trading card game by Wizards of the Coast, who do Magic the Gathering now. I got one of their retail posters right here. So this one, it's already packed up here. And it's the trading card game. You would fold it out and it would have like, it'd show you like, oh, you can get the starter set. It had really cool like art and stuff and quality. I think the cards are actually worth a lot now. People love Harry Potter, but getting like a cool promotional item like this is awesome. This sold for $30. And the cool thing is, I made a note to myself, I have another one. I have a second one. It's unlisted. The reason why I didn't do like quantity 2 is, one, I wanted to make it look more rare. And then 2, sometimes when I have multiple posters, there might be a couple of different rips on like different sides. I have to take pictures of that. I don't want to have any returns. That's just me being careful, better safe than sorry. But $30 for that game, the art and stuff was cool. I think I've sold some bulk before, but it was before we were recording, so I like almost barely ever find that. I don't know how much they ever made. I don't think it like lasted too long. All right, next up is gonna be another board game I haven't played, Rowboat right here. Mind-bending strategy type of game. Looks like there's really cool art on the cards. Like it's a trick playing game, which is gonna be like hearts and stuff like that. I'd explain like what a trick playing game was to Annetta a couple days ago. We like talked about it. But yeah, it's usually where there's like some kind of like suit that someone puts down and everyone else has to, in order, put down their suit. And then there's going to be rules for who collects the pile. Sometimes you get points, negative points. But yeah, that's what this type of game is. So people love trick-taking games. There was a game called, I always forget, it's like a space one that kind of, it came out like, I want to say in 2021. Oh, it's called The Crew. And a bunch of people enjoyed that game. I think it was kind of like a co-op one, like a space trick-taking card game. And then other companies started making more trick-taking games. A lot of other people found a bunch in the past, and then they started like purchasing them and trying them because they're like, oh, I like this category. $10.80. But yeah, it's like canasta, heart, stuff like that. That already existed. This is just adding like different, art and different rules. All right, moving along, we have a combo order. We've sold this stuff before. These are going to be Blitz miniatures right here. These were made in the UK. Like I said, we sold a bunch. This person sent lower offers than what we've normally gotten on these, but they ended up getting 11 packs. So they did $10 offers on each of these. I think we have them for like 23 or 22 or something, and we have gotten around that price. Sometimes people have bought in like combo orders. We have a lot of these still. So yeah, $110 for 11 of those packs. That was a good combo order. All right, I only took that lower price just because they were getting so many. Next up is just like kind of like a random item here. I think we got this at like a thrift store a long time ago. This is going to be just a sealed pack of napkins. This is themed for like poker playing cards, but it kind of has like a more interesting jack and queen right here. But yeah, there's still like the 75 cents on the outer package. I didn't want to like rip it off or whatever. Sometimes people will message, they'll be like, oh, I won't pay more than 75 cents because that's what you bought it at. Seriously, people have done that at least like 10 times. That message always cracks me up. Sometimes I'll have like a vintage item and I don't want to peel off the sticker to like ruin like a video game case or like a magazine, and people will seriously think that is what the price should be. I don't know. I always just find that entertaining. $8 for this, so that's actually pretty good for these napkins. This is not something I would pick up these like today now, if that makes sense. It was just something that we listed a long time ago. That was in an old bin. All right, next up is going to be Battle Masters. This is by Milton Bradley. This was really nostalgic for me because I used to have a neighbor across the street when I was like 6. I would go across the street, and my older brother would also hang out with his friend over there, and they were like 9. They were like 3 years older than me, and we used to play like some board games. So he had a Marvel one, which I forget the name. It had like the metal miniatures. He had Hero Quest, and then he had Battle Masters along with like Sega Genesis and stuff like that. But I always thought, that there's like a particular orc in here with like a flag, and I always thought that that was like a Warhammer miniature. So when I happened to go through like a bunch of board game bits and pieces I was going through, I saw this. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, I remember this game. So I don't know if I played it well at 6 or if they taught it to me well when they were 9. But yeah, this bag of bits and pieces sold for $55.99. So yeah, that's like a super rare one. It's not horribly incomplete, but yeah, it's not the whole thing. All right. Next up is going to be WizKids promotional card. WizKids does HeroClix, but they also do a lot of board games, like a lot of them. And then they'll do a lot of promotional cards at like conventions. Sometimes you have to like buy stuff. Sometimes you just like, there'll be handouts, but this is some kind of unicorn. This is for a game called Maiden's Quest. I've never played it. It's kind of an interesting card size. I don't think it's a good card size to have something like a small tarot size, because as you can see, I have it in a standard size sleeve and it doesn't really fit. So it's going to be a pain for people to sleeve board games like that. That's just me nitpicking random, unrelated to the game. But yeah, $5.60 for this one. All right, moving along, we have Settlers of Catan. That's an iconic board game for a lot of people. Got them into the hobby. It might not be as iconic these days. I would say like maybe Wingspan would probably be a more modern version of a game that gets people into board games. But Settlers of Catan, you roll dice, and then you get to, there's a bunch of people that have settlements on little hexes on the board, and that's it. And then you get resources if you have a house there, and then you get to trade those. And then there's like 6 things you get to purchase, and then you're trying to get to 10 points. And there's, you know, upgrading your houses to settlements. And then there's also like some special development cards you can get. And then there's like a bonus for like the longest road. But they got 2 dice right here. Sorry, I was talking long about that. Yellow dice and red dice. This is just what you use to roll the game. These were going to be from, it literally says Catan on the one. And then because the game uses hexes for the board, the actual pips are hexes here. So that's awesome. This is going international, so maybe someone didn't have access to it over here. All right, moving along, we have this. These are going to be 9 Flames of War miniature, like acrylic tiles. So the Flames of War is going to be a World War II miniature game, super popular. I don't get like a crazy amount of this stuff because like a lot of people know it's popular, but yes, these have like fuzz on the background, so it like sticks on the mat or playing field or something. I don't know if these are just for art or decorative. I don't know if these were promotional items. A lot of board games or miniature games will do different tournaments where you can enter in tournaments and get stuff. So there's 9 of these with Flames of War, various different like flags and arts and stuff. $16.79 for that. All right, moving along, we have Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I actually have like sealed Warhammer stuff. I got this. I did a quick video about this, I don't know how long ago at this point, but I got like a small mini Warhammer collection from the person I normally get anime stuff from. But yeah, this is a Tusk Boss on Maw Grunta right here. So yeah, this is just going to be one of the orc figures. I think we got 2 of these. This is our second one that sold. This sold for $60. So yeah, this is just like what a Warhammer thing looks like. And then you open up the box. It has those sprues you've seen me sell before, like the gray things where they have to like clip them out and shave them and then glue the miniature together. So this is what it comes in. All right. Next up is going to be C3I Magazine number 30. This is going to be the South Pacific game right here. I think this is the whole game. So this is not the magazine, I believe. Is this the magazine? No, I think this is just the rule book. I could be wrong. I think the magazines for C3I are thicker. I normally get like bits and pieces, like they'll come with different tokens or expansion packs or cards or a full-fledged game. So yeah, this is going to be, I believe, one of the games from magazine number 30. I think there's 38 different magazines. They have a lot of inserts for these. Not all the war game magazines have as many as C3I. This is going to repeat buyer for $17. All right, moving along. We just have some generic 25 bronze-colored medieval knight toys. These are like toy soldiers. These are pretty cool because it's kind of hard these days to find like good toy soldiers. So this is probably like a gift for someone for their kid or something. But yeah, these ones are super cool just because like there's knights with different various weapons. They're not all the same pose. There's some with bows. There's some with like spears and crossbows. So yeah, they're still just like a cheaper plastic toy, but they looked pretty cool. So $15.99. I knew someone was going to want like medieval knights and not just like, you know, the classic green army men. All right, next up is going to be Flux version 4.0 right here. This is from 2008, I believe. I haven't played Flux. This is going to be a card game because the rule, and it's named Flux because the rules are always in flux. There's going to be, I think, a deck of 52 cards or 54 cards. Everyone will have some cards in their hand, and then there will be like a victory condition on the table as a card. And then on your turn, you get to play 1 card, and then I think draw 1 card from like the deck or whatever. And you keep going until someone completes the way to win the game, and people can play cards that actually change how you win. So yeah, there's different themes. There's probably over 50 or 100 different fluxes of various types. This is just the base game, but this is the 4th edition of that, $17.60. I know people like it. It is one I accidentally never played. I should have played it at this point. Just no one ever offered it. All right. Moving along, we have this Sears optical magnet. This is going to be like a vintage one. This one has SpongeBob on it, and I think that's why this sold. This was just like from a random drawer, basically like a junk drawer in like a estate sale or something. I'm like, oh, people like SpongeBob. So I don't know if they got it for SpongeBob. I don't know if they got it for the Sears or the combo. $15.99. I did not have this labeled, so we had to go through the emails, and I had to dig through like 6 boxes, so it was very painful to find this. It took a long time. All right, moving along, we have, this is like missing a couple of cards. Not a big deal. This is, you see me sell the promos for the Munchkin game. This is Munchkin Deluxe right here. I think the Munchkin Deluxe just had like a board to show your characters levels 1 through 10. It's a satirical card game where you're trying to get your Munchkin character to level 10 and you win. Yeah, this only went for $6.50. You've seen me sell like the promos for a lot more. So yeah, because this was missing some stuff, I think it was just a couple cards. I was like, and then the base cards, it's easier to find those. I was like, okay, I'll sell that one for cheaper. Some of the stuff I just listed for cheap just to get it moving. All right, moving along, we sold, let me see, 3, 4, I think it was like, was it 5 of these? They bought it at different times. So I think on average they spent basically like $50. I think it might be a little bit more than that. And this was interesting because this is Magi Nation dual cards. These are going to be 5 different rares. I got a bunch of these at an auction for like a dead card game collection. So these are 5 different rares right here. And then someone bought some bulk cards recently. In their message, they actually mentioned that someone was excited. They were giving it as a gift to someone else because they did a Kickstarter. So I was not aware of that. I looked at the Kickstarter. I think it ended in October, and I think people have been getting their stuff now. Sometimes it's hard to dig through pages and pages of Kickstarter information on the website. But yeah, it's cool. Like I have a dead card game that's now in a live card game. So I have a bunch of stuff listed. They bought these rares for $55. I think you can use them with the old stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. All right. But I'm assuming because I've been selling a lot of that. We have next up. This one's kind of interesting because it's like one of those board games, like multi-board game things. But this one came with a cool case. And it also had like some like brand name called Excalibur. I unfortunately have it all wrapped up, but like when I open up all the, so it has like what, this green and red stripe. It's really nice, like a good weight to it. The quality of these things vary when you get these multi-games board games, you know, when you get checkers and chess and Parcheesi and Chinese checker, all these like are playing poker playing cards. Sometimes you'll get like bad quality components. This one was pretty good. So this sold for $16. I think they're gonna be pretty happy when they get this one, because a lot of people expect those like 6 games in ones, 10 games in one to be not the best quality, but that one's cool and it has a cool case. All right, next up is going to be a broken lot of 22 WizKids Mech Warrior bits and pieces. Maybe they're going to fix them. Mech Warrior is going to be the WizKids game. It's not around anymore, but you would get the big mechs, you would get the little infantry, you would get the tanks. I got a huge collection. I actually did a video. I think it took me like 45 minutes or an hour. Like it's still on the channel. It was like labeled. It was labeled like the biggest Mech Warrior collection I've ever gotten, which was true. It was a crazy, huge one. Bits and pieces broken at the end of listing everything. I was like, someone's going to want them maybe to do some kind of project. $10 for that, or they're going to fix up their figures. All right, moving along. We got this. These were super cool. I thought they would sell faster. I don't know too much about comic books, but I did get some. It was like dinosaur comic books. Where did I put them? Give me a second. Where did they go? So yeah, this was Dinosaurs for Hire. We also did a video on this a long time ago. Where is it? I don't know where they are right now. Did I forget them? Or did I like put stuff over them? Oh, every time. It's right here. It's literally right here. All right. Yeah, cool dinosaurs comic books. This one, it says Jurassic Jerk instead of Park. But yeah, had a lot of cool dinosaurs. Never read this comic book. Don't know too much about it. I'll get scrapped sometimes. Got a huge collection of these dinosaur ones and some Batman ones. These end up going for $15.99. They were basically like brand new condition. So really good condition. I think they're going to be happy when they open up and realize I didn't open them up. All right. Moving along, we have World War II Micro Armor. We got a bunch of these pieces a long time ago, and we were selling a ton of them. It's slowed down because a lot of them has sold. There's still a lot left. These are going to be 4 little holes to a tank, so that it's not like the full tank, but it's just going to be like the base parts. These end up going for $9.59. I remember this was the stuff people were telling me, like, a lot of messages about how people weren't going to buy the incomplete World War II micro armor stuff. I was like, I've sold a lot of like bits and pieces to things before. I know someone will eventually pick them up, but yeah, I remember getting a lot of slack for that from random non-customers. All right. Moving along, we have Game Shark. This is going to be like a strategy guide book. It has like all the little codes right here. This one I think includes N64. Game Shark was the thing that you would like hook up to your different systems, and you would have to get the codes, and then you get to cheat in your game. A lot of people, it's like really nostalgic for a lot of people, and then these books were pretty cool because they would show you all the different codes. So I mean, now that you look that stuff online, but it's a cool little just collectible. $15.99. I got a bunch of those. I also got some more strategy guide books over the weekends, and I'm going to list them probably tomorrow. Nothing too crazy, but you never know. Sometimes like a game, I'll be like, oh, that video game's not too popular, but maybe the strategy guide book will be more rare and it might be worth a little bit more. I'll expect to get $8 to $15 on the ones I'm about to list tomorrow, but it was cool to get some more. It's like uncommon. I know someone that gets me book stuff eventually, and eventually like I'll get strategy guide books with it. Moving along, we have another CD. This is going to be from our CD haul that we got for $75. Constantly selling this stuff. It's a good category, CDs. This is going to be the Prince of Egypt soundtrack right here. I did not see this one, but yeah, this is like a dual CD right here, but yeah, it has the seal. This ended up going for $4.77. I actually listed this at my parents' house, so this was weird because like that was where my brother was like listing stuff a long time ago, many years ago, before I even thought about doing eBay, and then I happened to list a bunch of CDs there at the time. I'm not sure why, but that's just where I listed them. I see like the table that is theirs. All right, next up, super old one. I don't know if Annette got this or me. I don't know. Ruggies right here. It's gonna be a little like sticky thing so your rugs don't move. That's funny because we were just rearranging some of her rugs and we were using like another kind of like film. I don't know what to call. But yeah, this went for $8.75. We've been selling a lot more of our older stuff. Like some of the stuff is just older stuff we had listed. The CD, the Ruggies. I guess there was more stuff. Oh, the napkins. And then also there's going to be some other stuff coming up. Oh, actually this one right here. This is going to be Twigs, like some kind of bear. It was like Twigs, the environmental bear. Don't know anything about this. This is from 1985. Someone sent a wholesome message where they said that their kid had lost theirs or their son or something. And this is going to be like their Christmas gift. They lost Twigs a long time ago. His actual name is Twigs. So I was like, oh, that's great. This ended up going for $14.39. Plushies aren't my favorite, but we usually, when we do sell them, we get some kind of message like that. All right, moving along, we sold another book. This is going to be Black Mountain. Haven't read this one. Don't know too much what it's about. I'm assuming it's going to be some kind of military one or historical one. I'm just taking a guess here just because it was with all of the other military books I had within the same box. I listed this a bit ago. But yeah, it's a hardcover one. This went for $6.29. All right, next up, super shocked this sold. This is a lot of 6. These are going to be Sesame Street books. Also super crazy old listing. I don't know how many times I talked about this, maybe one time on the channel, but one of our first big bulk buys was like yard sale hopping, and then we saw someone that had a bunch of children's books, and I just thought that they would be better. So Ned and I like picked a bunch. We only spent like $25. It was kind of like the lady had a deal or something. It was like, you know, 10 for $1 or something, or 10 for 90 cents, or, you know, like the more you got, the cheaper it was. So we got a bunch. We sold a lot. We made a good amount of money. But I wouldn't do it again. But yeah, these 6, I'm kind of surprised they sold because they have like bad bindings. I mean, they're still relatively clean inside. I looked at my listing. It's actually not like a good listing compared to now. I could do a better job. I guess it's like they're relatively, yeah, they're pretty clean inside. So Sesame Street, I don't know if this is a gift or something, but yeah, $7.51. This was probably one of the first 100 listings we've done. So cool history for us, and someone's going to appreciate it. All right. Next up is going to be a rare Japanese Oink game. I actually listed this during the first time I listed live. This is going to be this. Oink games come in all of these sizes. They're all of these boxes right here. They're usually at conventions. I don't know if the people who like own the company still go to conventions to sell this stuff, but you can find them out and about. There's rare like Japanese ones because I think they also sell these games in Japan or something, or maybe in Essen in Europe when they do their other conventions. And sometimes they'll bring the Japanese ones to like that's only where you can get them. And then I've had like them upsell me them before. I think they were like, they also do like weird deals where we're like 3 for $45. This one I happened to find outside of the convention, but I knew what this was when I saw it. People were passing by it and I'm like, oh, this is an Oink game. I can tell by the shape. They're all this. It literally says Oink game up there. And I knew I think no one had this one listed, so there's a lot of these. Like I said, it's called the Diamond Swap. Yeah, this one went for $55. It's going international. Sorry, I know I was rambling a lot about it, but yeah. Oh, they also have they're like deep strategy games, sometimes party games. They're well known for having like decent games. They're not like the best of the best, but they're not like junky. And then they have good quality components. Like when you open up one of those boxes, they fit a lot in there, and it's just good quality. Like the cards are good quality, everything. All right, next up. Enough about that. We got Heroes and Warriors, Chief Joseph, Guardian of the Nez Percy right here. I don't know anything about this one or this particular character. Hardcover book. But yeah, this one ended up going for $7.27. I've got a lot of books where I'm just like, it's a big pile, so I don't know too much about it. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 31 Arkham Horror. These are going to be dividers for your collection. So Arkham Horror Living Card Game, they're doing, I believe, like a new edition. So people are picking up all the old edition stuff. So you happen to have the old edition stuff, it's probably worth listing. I haven't looked at the prices in like a week or two, so I don't know where the prices landed. Whenever a new edition of something is announced, it kind of takes a bit for the people buying the stuff, like to see where the prices settle. Sometimes people who are fans are like, okay, we're all ready to move on to the second edition. And sometimes people go like, they lock in more in the first edition because now they can collect everything, right? Now they know everything that exists out there. And then that will make the items disappear quickly because the supply of them isn't as high out there and the demand increases. So yeah, dividers, $7 for this. They use this to keep track of their collection. You get a lot of stuff with that game. Annette and I have played it. We have some stuff. We don't have all of it. So if the old edition stuff gets too expensive, we'll have to get lucky at an auction in order to use it ourselves. But we still have like 30, 40, 50 hours of Arkham Horror stuff that we have right now. All right, moving along. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Battle of Glimsforge book. This is going to be some kind of like little campaign or scenario. I'm not too sure how these like little booklets work. I think you get them when you get like different expansions and boxes and stuff like that. I don't know where it is right now. It's probably going to be, oh, here it is. Sorry, I have stuff all over the place. But yeah, there you go. This is going to be for Age of Sigmar. This ended up going for $19.20. All right, last item. Whew. Last item. My brain's melted. Not even making sense anymore. All right, we have the Old West, the Cowboys, Time Life hardcover book. We got a bunch of these hardcover books before from various different places. I actually passed up on one over the weekend, even though we had sold this one for $9.99. They're kind of like heavy and stuff, but yeah, they're by Time, I believe, or Time Life. But yeah, that's everything. Kind of a lot of stuff. And there's going to be like, we're doing this Sunday night, so then I can just wake up and drop this off. And anything else that sells will have until Tuesday ship out. So yeah, we just needed to get this done early. This is going to take a long time. So all right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our links down below. Hope you had a good weekend.